Good morning and welcome to my channel. So I know I have posted some videos on this channel before. I've said that I was going to use this channel as my personal journey, and that is my plan. I plan to continue to use it as my personal journey. Also to, hopefully put out some information that can one day help someone, because I just want to be able to help anyone. And I love how we can just go out there and we can find, information and also just discuss some relatable topics sometimes. There's been some times where I have random thoughts. I just come up with something real random and I ask like my friends, my family, sometimes even my husband or my daughter, and everybody will be like, where did you even come up with that? Like, why did you think of that? I don't know. It's nothing that's going on. Sometimes I just have those what if questions or I wonder if type questions. But I am going to, have a little bit of those type things on my channel. It's just, just going to be me talking. Maybe I might have a snack or something to eat sometimes, but maybe not. I am on a health journey, trying to lose weight. And I'm going to get into all of that. But I will always try to keep my videos at 15 minutes or less. I will try not to do a lot of videos. But for this video, I wanted to come and I wanted to talk about one of my diagnoses, which is intracranial hypertension, IIH. I did not know what this was. And I still don't have 100% full understanding of IIH. I am learning as I go, and I am finding a lot of useful information. I did go to YouTube because that's kind of like a go-to, sometimes where you just want to hear other people's experience. I know that's me. I like to hear other people's experience. I know and understand 100% that everybody is different. You cannot always base your situation off of somebody else's. I get that. I just still like to hear others' experiences and the things that they've learned going through something and things like that. It's just something that I personally like. But when I went to YouTube, I seen that there were more videos than I thought there would be, because honestly, I felt like nobody has ever dealt with this. I felt like the doctor had kind of like made it up as she went along when she was talking to me. I had all kinds of thoughts. But there are more videos out there than I thought, but they're all like 2 years or older. I have not found any recent videos, except for one where a young lady was able to record somehow, some way, the ringing or the whooshing sound that was in her ear. I don't know how she did that, but yes. So welcome. Again, try to keep it short. But intracranial hypertension. So how I found out about it, I had this noise in my ear, and it went with the rhythm of my heartbeat. And I kept saying, what is this? What is this? But me being who I was 2 years ago, I kept going with life. I didn't know. I was like, okay, I don't know, something's going on. I just kept going, pushing through. And then I started getting these really, really bad migraines. Now, I've always suffered with migraines. It was something that I remember happening after my father passed away in 97. I was 12. And my doctor always kind of related it to, the grief and stress of losing my dad, because I was a daddy's girl. As I got older, the headaches kind of stopped, but they would come and go. But last year they got so bad, I would be at work and people would be talking to me, and between the migraine and the noise, consistent noise in my ear, I felt so confused and so lost. I felt like I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and it was driving me insane. And I had some other things going on, but we're going to focus on the IIH right now. So I woke up one morning and I called out of work because I could not take any light. Like CJ had said, good morning. Deja had said something to me, and I was just like, I didn't want to take it. I don't try to take anything out on them, but I just was like, I need everybody to be quiet. Like I couldn't take any type of sound. And on the third day, I couldn't take it anymore. So I went to the ER. I was actually supposed to be going on my very first girls trip with a couple of friends of mine. And I went to the ER because I knew if I was still going to try to force myself and go, but I knew that if I did, it had gotten so bad I was not going to have a good time. There was no way. I couldn't function. When I got there, my blood pressure was extremely high. The hospital did release me and let me go home, and my primary care was upset about that. But they kind of told me what the possibility of that being was. They was like, oh, there's something called intracranial hypertension. You have some signs of that. We'll, give you a referral to go see a neurologist. So I said, okay. And then within that next week or two, I had my regular eye exam. And when I had the eye exam, when they looked at the images, she said I had a lot of swelling behind my eyes. And then she referenced the intracranial hypertension again. So I was like, what is this? So she sent me to a neuro-ophthalmologist who sent me to a neurologist. And that's when they told me, that it seemed like I definitely had intracranial hypertension. They wanted me to go to the hospital. When I went to the hospital, to plan for an overnight stay, possibly 2 nights, and just let the emergency room know that, I'm there for a workup. So I went, and when they drained the fluid, they had to do a spinal tap. That's how they fully diagnose you. They're able to diagnose you after the spinal tap. When they did the spinal tap, it's been a year, so I can't remember the numbers. I'm going to try to look for the information. All I know is she said, oh, wow. I remember I had 30 whatever it was, of the fluid that they removed. And it should only have been like, I think between 10 and 15 amount of the fluid. So she was like, definitely. But as they were draining the fluid from my spine, I can feel the pressure from my head. It just easing and easing and easing. The noise did not stop, but the pressure from my head was just easing and easing and easing because I felt like my head was going to explode. So when they finished with that, they kept me all day. Again, they wanted to keep me overnight again to see if the fluid was going to build back up, but they decided to let me go ahead and go home because the neurologist had started me on medicine called Diamox. And the Diamox was to kind of keep the fluid from building. So they started me off with 500 milligrams of Diamox. And then after they seen the amount of fluid that was on my brain that they drained from the spine, they upped it to 1,000. So I started taking that. The headaches kind of went away, but the whooshing sound was still there. And they related this to weight. So they told me that I needed to lose some weight. Now, I have done diets before. My doctor had actually had me on phentermine. And that's when I noticed the noise in my ear. So I kind of thought in the beginning that maybe it was a side effect of the phentermine. And maybe that could be another reason why I ignored it. But at that time, I really was not one that just went to the doctor as soon as I felt or heard something, which, I'll get into later. Very important. Please make sure as soon as you notice anything different with your body, you reach out to your PCP. If you cannot get in contact with them, if it's real serious, take your butt to the emergency room. We have to protect ourselves for ourselves and for our loved ones. But y'all have to forgive me because, with this noise, sometimes I forget. But yeah, so that's kind of how I was diagnosed. That was my experience of what I went through with being diagnosed with intracranial hypertension. And I was saying about losing weight. So I've done diets, I've done the phentermine, I've worked out. Now I know, being honest with myself, being honest with y'all, I did not always go in 100% gun ho like I should have. And for many different reasons, you get distracted and you come back to it, you deprive yourself of things, and then you get a taste of it when you finally have it, and you kind of just fall back into, your old habits and things like that. So I've always been able to lose weight. Now, since this adult life, my highest weight has been 245 pounds. I seem to never go past 245. Except for when I was pregnant. I think I was like 247. But 245, I've gone down to 219. But as soon as I hit that 220, 219 mark, I just stop. My body stopped. It doesn't go any lower than that. It goes back up no matter what I'm doing, even on the phentermine. When I got down to 220, I stayed there for about 2 months. And then I started with the cravings, and I was still on the medicine. And I talked to my primary care doctor, and I told her, like, hey, I'm starting to crave chocolate again. At that time, I was still getting a cycle. And during my cycle time of the month, I would need chocolate, Pepsi, fried chicken, and shrimp fried rice. That's what I needed. If not, I was not a happy camper. Like, I needed that for about 2 days. And I was craving that, but those cravings were stronger than what they usually would be. So I started going back to that, and then the weight came back, and then I kind of felt like, for that reason, number one, I was having the cravings again. The phentermine wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. My doctor had recommended another pill. I don't remember the name of it. I'm going to try to find it. But that pill, that was a no-no for me. No. I took that one dose of that medicine, and I was ready to have my way with my husband. I'll say that. I was ready to go to his job and just have my way. And I was like, oh no, I can't function like this. I will never take that medicine again. I took one dose of that medicine, and the rest was flushed in the toilet. I told my primary care doctor that's a no. Never. And then I got to a period where I would stay up for about 48 hours. And I couldn't go to sleep. And then I would crash. So then I would be missing work because I would crash, and I would just feel crazy for like 2 to 3 days, and I needed to just sleep and rest. But so that was my journey with the phentermine, and why I stopped with the phentermine, and where I noticed the ringing. So I thought it was related to that. I did not know it was related to my weight. Intracranial hypertension is something that is more common than uncommon than I thought, but it's still not that high on the radar, I guess, because they still don't really have all of the answers as to where it comes from. I am learning that there is different things that I need to eat, can't eat, things I got to stay away from, things that heightens the symptoms of intracranial hypertension, and certain things like that. But this was just an introduction of, what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to start off by talking about the intracranial hypertension. I am at 13 minutes. So again, I don't want to go over, but that is it for today. I hope that you all enjoy the videos. I do look forward to talking with people, hopefully, because I don't know anyone. I know one person with intracranial hypertension. One person, and our symptoms are a little bit different. So I am also in hopes of these videos finding other people dealing with intracranial hypertension, because again, I want to talk. I want to know your experience. I want to, I know I can't get answers, but it's nice to connect and be able to talk with people who understand what you're going through. Because as much as I tell my husband and my daughter and my family and my close friends, and they say, they could only imagine, they don't really know. So I love their love and their support, but I can't really have those conversations and they fully understand what I'm experiencing. So hopefully these videos can reach somebody. For those of you that know me, I am from the CJ and Sharice channel. That is our main channel, and this channel is just, y'all know how I feel. I don't want to bring that channel down because I am a little bit more of the serious one, while CJ is the goofy one, and y'all are so used to laughing and stuff. So I don't want to ruin the channel with my what I feel will possibly be boring videos. Hopefully they're not, but that's just how I feel. Y'all know I'm hard on myself, so that's why everything will be over here. But I do hope that y'all enjoy it. I look forward to conversating with you all. And we like to end our videos over there, and I'm going to keep that here because we truly believe and stand by it. Please make sure you tell somebody that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Love on your loved ones, y'all. Life is way too short. And remember, sometimes we have these falling outs with people that we love, and we allow precious time to go by, and then we're hurt and we're singing the shoulda, coulda, wouldas when something bad happened. Reach out to those that you have fallen outs with. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're still here, for them. Sometimes things can be repaired and sometimes they can't. But just because something can't be repaired doesn't mean the love is lost. Okay? Love y'all. See you next time. Bye.